Hello people, today we are talking about the MrBeast Finger on the App 2 challenge and all of the details about what has been happening to people as well as my personal experience. Before you go and dislike this video, I ask that you watch the video in its entirety. I'm simply just sharing my experience during the Finger on the App 2 challenge as well as many other people's experiences. I'm not saying that any of this is 100% MrBeast's fault, nor am I saying that this is 100% rigged, but also I'm not saying that it 100% isn't his fault and that it isn't rigged. I'm simply giving a fair side to either outcome, and you, the viewer, will be the decider as to who you think is at fault by the end of this. A lot of research has gone into this video, and all I'm asking for you is to watch the video in its entirety first before forming any opinions. Simply just watch it with an open mind. And yeah, that being said, let me begin. So, Finger on the App is a challenge made by MrBeast where the last person to remove their finger off of their phone would win $100,000. While you had your finger on your screen, a bubble would randomly pop up every couple of seconds and you would have to move your finger to that area on the phone. You had 5 seconds to do so, and if you didn't make it to the circle in time, you would lose a life. Or if your finger lifted from the screen, that would also result in a life being lost. So the game was basically an endurance game to see who can keep their finger on the screen the longest while also paying attention and moving their finger over a bubble every few seconds. Well, at least this is how the game was intended to be played. The challenge started on March 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The days prior to the challenge beginning, players were able to download the app in advance, and they were able to do 2 different things to get up to 3 extra lives for the challenge. They could either play the battle mode where you go up against a random person and whoever stays the longest, or if both people were to stay for 5 minutes, which was how long the battle went for, they would get some cookies. 300 cookies would buy you 1 extra life. So in order to get 3 extra lives, which is, what anyone who was going to take this challenge very seriously would have wanted to do, they would have needed 900 cookies. Now, each 5-minute battle mode game would earn you 10 cookies. So to get 900 cookies, you would have to play battle mode and win at least 90 times. So not even worst case scenario, we'll just say if every game lasts 5 minutes, but you win each one, you're spending around like 7.5 hours grinding to get 3 extra lives. And this is all before the competition even started. I'm sure some people grinded for less time, and I'm sure some people spent days getting 900 hearts because, they kept losing in the battle mode. But yeah. Point here is, regardless, it would take hours to get 3 free hearts for the competition. There was another way to earn hearts, however. You were actually also able to buy them. 1 extra life was $2.99, 2 extra lives was $4.99, and 3 extra lives was $6.99. Now, obviously, if most people are set on winning $100,000 off of this, it doesn't seem like a bad idea to just buy 3 extra lives for $7 instead of grinding and spending time doing the challenge before you even have to start it. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people bought the 3 extra lives. So right when the competition started, right when the countdown hit 0 and players were in the game, a large chunk of people were eliminated. Now, a good majority of those people were just people intentionally getting out right when the game started, but for many, they were not trying to get out. Some had a few lives and some even had 3 extra lives, and they were just instantly kicked from the game. The game started at around 1.8 million people, and within the first 5 minutes, it was down to 1.2 million people, meaning 600,000 people lost within the first minute. And there are tons of tweets about people getting kicked out the second the game started. As the game continued, many people started to get kicked out of the game for seemingly no reason at all. When people were kicked out for seemingly no reason, there was always a large group of others who got kicked out unfairly at the same exact time. Now, throughout these people getting kicked out of the game unfairly, MrBeast and MrBeast's app account on Twitter called Beast Games began responding to people about this. Twitter user Kaylin replied to a MrBeast tweet about Finger on the App, and they said this: "Here's my thoughts. The battle mode was amazing. Leading up to the competition, I was so excited for. When the competition started, I had my finger on the app around the 2-hour mark, when most people got kicked out. I also got kicked out for no apparent reason. So they were kicked out of the game at the 2-hour mark for no apparent reason, and a lot of other people were kicked out at the 2-hour mark as well. Most of the times that people were getting randomly kicked out was always at the beginning of a new hour, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, etc. And people were getting kicked out at generally around the same times for seemingly no reason. Well, Beast Games replied to Kaylin about her tweet, saying she got randomly kicked out at the 2-hour mark, and this is what they had to say about that. Hey Kaylin, thanks for commenting. Most people thought that there was a mass kick around hour 2, but the reality is that this was a visual delay in our system updating the amount of users. From our devs analysis, 99% of games ran smoothly. Now this tweet makes no sense at all, and I'll tell you why. Kaylin was complaining about getting kicked out at the 2-hour mark, the same time that a ton of other people were kicked out. We weren't talking about the amount of people left in the game, we are talking about the time that they were kicked out of the game. In the beginning of the tweet, Beast Game acknowledges this by saying, most people thought that there was a mass kick at around hour 2, and their reasoning for why people got kicked out at the 2-hour mark was this. The reality is that this was a visual delay in our system, updating the amount of users. So what does the amount of users have to do with the timing of when people got kicked out of the game? This literally makes no sense at all. Then they say this, which is also a very reoccurring statistic that this Beast Games page likes to, just throw around, which I'm pretty sure is just absolute bullshit, to be honest, because I've seen a lot of people that had the opposite of what they're saying, but it said, from our devs analysis, 99% of games ran smoothly. Yeah, I don't think hundreds of thousands, if not at least 1 million people who got randomly kicked out from the app adds up to only 1% of the games not being ran flawlessly whatsoever. Some other excuses that the Beast Games Twitter made for the reason people were losing was that the phone was malfunctioning from moisture or oil on the touchscreen. And this might make sense for the people who lost later, but I still don't think it's a good enough excuse. I do think it's a glitch and they're just avoiding they just really don't want to acknowledge that it's a glitch for some reason. They more or less say this is from oil. And on top of that, this doesn't really explain at all why people lost all 3 of their lives all at once and not just one from some oil on their screen. If there was oil on their screen and it messed up, they should have only lost 1 heart. People were getting kicked out with 3 hearts left, just instantly gone, one after another, after another, after another. Then MrBeast's excuse for people getting kicked out was this. I see lots of you saying you had problems, and trust me, we are looking into it. From what I've seen so far, most are genuinely connection based. If you miss 3 pings, you're kicked. Or accidentally touching with a different finger. If we find a glitch though, I will share. Sorry. Once again, this doesn't make sense. There's no way that many people die at the same exact time in the game, all because of ping issues. Like, these so-called glitch where people would die off would happen in intervals, and people would always get out at the same time, the same exact way. For me personally, I lost 1 life randomly like an hour in, then around the 6-hour mark, the rest of my lives went away within minutes, all completely unfairly. I'll show you the clips now of the ones that I had on camera of me losing.
6969.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Let's go!
We got a KeidBoi fan in here. Holy
Like, he has my
shit.
profile picture. Wait, I lost a life?
No.
How did I lose a life? How did I lose a life?
You
There's
lost
another
a
one
life.
gone.
What? What the fuck?
It just kicked me out. That last one is just honestly so ridiculous. I've seen the same exact thing happen to so many people during the same exact time frame as me. They lost their hearts in the same order and everything. Like, literally so many people have the exact same experience as I did in this game, which is just most certainly fishy at the least. It really makes me think that there is something weird going on here. After learning that a lot of people had the same story as me, I began doing research for this video, and a lot of it I used already. I already explained to you guys, but there's one big thing that does show what the app devs and whoever is in control of the app are capable of. There is a video on YouTube called How We Launched Finger on the App 2, Creator Economics number 18, and it is basically a video of a guy interviewing one of the developers of the Finger on the App 2 app. Now, there's two interesting things in this video that I want to bring to your attention. First thing, when the developer was asked how long he thinks that the competition would last, he said this.
How long do you think it will, like, I don't know, it'll last? And do you think it'll last longer than 72 hours this time?
I guess so. The initial, like, first time around, I guess 40 hours was my over under. I was completely off. I don't think it lasts for 72 hours.
Even though it lasted 72 hours last time?
I'm also at an unfair advantage because, like, I know what's happening and I know, like, what's in the game and things like that. So I don't foresee this lasting that long, but...
Now, this makes no sense at all. As you guys know, this challenge is called Finger on the App 2, and about 8 months ago we had Finger on the App 1. Now, Finger on the App 1 was the same challenge basically, but it was for $25,000 and it was only available on the App Store for iOS. So only Apple devices would be able to participate. So why would the developer of this app predict that this competition would end earlier, especially when this competition has more people competing in it due to quarantine, and also the fact that it's also available on Android this time rather than just on Apple, and also that it is for 4 times the amount of money. You know, you would just think that they would predict for this challenge to last longer. It's more money, more people. It would make sense. Now, the challenge actually did end as I was making this video, and the developer did predict correctly. The challenge ended after only 51 hours compared to the 70 hours that the last challenge went on for. Not to mention, in the last challenge at the 70-hour mark, there was still 4 people in it, all of which ended up winning because MrBeast thought that it was going on for too long. The only difference between the gameplay of the Finger on the App 2 and the first one is that the second one had these things called bombs that came in around the 7-hour mark, and basically this is where you'd have to move your finger out of the way of the bomb area, and that was to basically just kick out bots from playing the game because they all programmed it to just go to whatever circle was on there for the bots. So adding another gameplay thing like this was how they kicked out bots. Now, I don't think that these bombs would have had that much of an impact on the amount of people who get out. Yeah, it definitely would get rid of bots like 100%, but there's no way that it changed the outcome of this whole entire thing this much. And when the developer was saying in this interview that there was some difference that will make it last not as long,
but this one's for $100,000. There's going to be some surprises as the game goes on and different things that might potentially happen.
The only thing he could be referring to is the bombs. That's literally like the only big difference. And there's no way that bombs would be taking away that many people. I'm not saying that either of those are proof that the whole thing is rigged or a scam or people were manually being taken out unfairly, but it's definitely something to think about. The devs predicted that it would end earlier, which doesn't make sense, and they said that they have the ability to kick anyone out of the app at any time.
We could go through each individual and we could kind of look at like what their finger was doing and eliminate people in real time. So
also in the TOS, it says that they aren't reliable if you get kicked out unfairly. I mean, this does make sense that they have it in there because they don't want to get sued, but also kind of weird. So I don't know, just a lot of that stuff seems pretty suspicious, to be honest, but yeah, it's up to you guys to decide whether or not you think that this was just a glitch or if they were maybe kicking people out on purpose, either to make the game go along faster than before, or possibly the whole thing was made in somebody's favor. I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer to any of that at all, but once again, just some things to think about. Perhaps one of the developers had someone that they know win or something like that. I'm not saying it's 100% MrBeast. I'm not saying that it's the devs. None of that. Once again, it's up to you to decide what you think. I'm just giving you all the things that I gathered. But yeah, a couple last things before I hand over the mic to one of my friends to share his experience on this app. I just want to say when I got kicked out of the game on my stream, I was like absolutely raging, okay? You know, I said some dumb shit.
What kicked me out?
What? I said, you know, it was 100% rigged.
100% rigged.
And that, you know, like, I might sue and stuff.
I honestly might, like, I might take this to court or some shit.
Like, no, I don't think that this is 100% rigged. I do think that there's a high chance that something fishy was going on, however, but it's not 100%. Also, I do believe this is more the developer's fault over MrBeast's fault. However, not 100% sure on this. There's a chance that, you know, MrBeast was a part of this the whole time and he was rigging it or doing unfair stuff that happened in the competition. However, just no one truly knows yet. There's not enough information to go off of. Also, once I died, I tweeted out a very long thread. In the first tweet, I stated that I skipped my mom's birthday dinner to do this, and just know that she was the one that told me to skip the dinner, and she wanted me to try and win for us. It wasn't like a screw you mom, I gotta play Mr. Beast's game moment. Like, she was completely on board with me trying to win this game for our family and get us some money. Last thing, at the end of my stream, I said I would burn my Mr. Beast hoodie as part of my raging scene, and yeah, I actually did that in the moment, because I actually was like mad at Mr. Beast regardless, because this challenge happened when the app was nowhere near ready to launch, and I just ended up wasting a lot of time and money for it. So yeah, I burned the hoodie as a final angry moment to all this.
I'm gonna burn my Mr. Beast hoodie.
And yeah, I just really don't think Mr. Beast should have released the app that early. I think it should have waited a little bit longer, had more testing. Hopefully in the future, stuff is better. And yeah, Mr. Beast, if you're watching this, I still do have tons of respect for you. I think you're a great guy, especially due to all the charity work that you do and stuff like that. But just next time when setting something up like this, you really need to make sure that the app is just perfect, especially whenever you have this many people doing it. Because sure, you guys can refund the money for the hearts or whatever, like give us back $7 for 3 extra lives that people bought, but you can't refund the chance of someone winning the competition, when in the end it ended up being more luck based rather than endurance based, which is what most people thought it was. You know, because of the glitches and stuff like that, it ended up being more luck. But yeah, here's my friend Crimptia, who also competed in this challenge, to give his side on things. I thought I'd have another opinion in here just so you guys can hear some other sides on stuff. That being said, make sure you go subscribe to him. His channel link will be at the top of the description. And yeah, take it away, smelly man.
Alright people, before I begin my part on Keid's video, I just wanted to go ahead and say thank you, Keid, for letting me hop on your channel. I really appreciate it.
What the fuck?
So anyways, we're going to be talking about MrBeast, right? Because MrBeast has been quite in a bit of controversy recently for doing his finger on the app challenge number 2. And a lot of these people that were doing this challenge or whatever actually got taken out of the challenge without barely even doing anything. They actually participated, and yet they still got kicked out of the game for no reason. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree on the conclusion that technology is not 100% accurate. However, there's going to be flaws in technology that's going to cause a lot of people to waste money. There's going to be causing people that's going to waste their time, which is exactly what this challenge did. And one of the main reasons as to why I'm here today is to go ahead and talk about my own personal experience with this app and my own personal experience with the MrBeast challenge. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and explain exactly what happened, at least in my own perspective, what happened to me throughout the challenge. I'm gonna try my best to not make it sound like a Me Too post or anything like that. It's not that serious. But anyways, people, jokes aside, I decided to start this challenge at around 5 p.m. whenever everybody else decided to start it. You know, there was about 1.4 million people in there. I was one of the 1.4 million, and I managed to get around the 200,000, 300,000 mark. It was about 2 hours into the challenge. I'd say about like 2 hours and 19 minutes into the challenge whenever I got kicked out. Now, throughout most of the 2 hours and 19 minutes while I was participating inside of the challenge, I was actually in call with Keid while he was doing the challenge alongside me.
Let's go.
We got a KeidBoi fan in here. Holy
Like, he has my
shit.
profile picture. Wait, I lost a life?
No.
How did I lose a life?
See, Keid, yeah, your finger was on the app, right? Nothing happened?
Yeah.
After watching that video, if you haven't noticed the crying of a Wookiee in the background, don't worry, that's just me. That's just me expressing my anger for this MrBeast challenge, that's all. But anyways, to go ahead and describe my own experience with what happened throughout this challenge, really, I'm sure that a lot of us can really resonate with my experience. I'm sure a lot of people can truly resonate with Keid's experience with this challenge. But anyways, to go ahead and give you some context as to what happened throughout this challenge, I had one life and I had one life only. I did not pay for any lives or anything of the sort. I participated in the battle section where you can battle other people to go ahead and get points so that you can redeem for a life. So anyways, I had one life, and chances are I probably wasn't going to win the challenge anyways. I mean, when you only have one life, dude, you probably have a lot less of a chance to actually win. I mean, that's just straight up logic. So whenever I lost the challenge illegitimately, I kind of was pissed for a little while, but then again, can you really blame me because I only had one life? But anyways, I'm sure that my experience can still resonate and relate with a lot of you guys that are watching this this video. So anyways, it was the 2-hour mark, right? I lost a life whenever my finger was still on the app. I was pissed off. I was doing backflips in my chair like an absolute fat ass. And then I quickly realized around like 10 minutes later, whenever I had 0 lives, right? On the screen, I had 0 lives. I didn't get kicked out whenever I lost my life illegitimately. I literally had no lives or whatever, and then they gave me my life back around 10 minutes later. I was confused as any other human being would be. So whenever I got my life back, I decided to calm down. I started to compose myself, and I just started to, you know, play the challenge again. It's not like I can go ahead and call MrBeast right now because guess what? My phone isn't available to me right now. So in the end, there was really nothing I can do. I can keep one finger in my ass and then the other on the app. So there was literally no resolve. There was no compromise throughout this situation. So anyways, moving on, I kept my finger on the app. I continued to do my thing until around 15 to 20 minutes later, whenever it finally kicked me out of the game. So after this whole situation pretty much unfolded in front of my eyes, I pretty much wanted to check Twitter, and I noticed that everybody had the exact same experience as I did. 95% of people pretty much lost their lives, and then they gained 1 life back, and then they lost it again 15 to 20 minutes later. The other 5% was that they had a full 3 lives, and that they just all lost their lives under a minute. So to me, it seemed like there was 2 main glitches that really got everybody. And get this, right? After the whole attention that this whole glitch garnered about the MrBeast challenge, there was only one solution that the Beast Games Twitter account can possibly think of. The best that they could do is to only refund your $7. That's it. That's all that they can do. No one was able to be put back into the game. No one was able to participate anymore into the finger on the app challenge. The only thing that they got was their precious $7 back. And I noticed one of the main things that the MrBeast thing was mainly promoting here was that, oh yeah, we're gonna get you a refund. We're gonna get you through the App Store. We're gonna get you through your Google Play. We're gonna get you all your money back. You will get your $7 refunded. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, it's not even the money that people are mad about. It's because so many people's time was wasted. So many hundreds of thousands of people had to jump through their schedules just to go ahead and participate in this stupid challenge. So whenever you're refunding people their $7 back, that's great and all, but like you can't refund people's time. I feel like people would have been much more satisfied if you actually would have gave them back their lives, and then you would have put them back into the game so that they can participate and actually came and do what they actually made about for their schedule to participate in your stupid challenge. Now, to go ahead and conclude my part on this video, do I think that MrBeast decided to scam everybody? Do I think that he deliberately decided to scam everybody? Absolutely not. Do I think that this challenge was absolutely rigged? 100%. Do I believe that a percentage of people did get scammed? Absolutely. Why? Because they cannot contact anybody to go ahead and get the refunded money. Do I think that MrBeast did this challenge just to go ahead and make some money? Absolutely not, because, well, he has multiple sponsors. He literally there's no reason for him to do it. He already has all the money in the world to go ahead and do this. There's no reason for him to go ahead and become a scam artist at this point. However, I might actually be wrong on everything that I'm saying right now. I might actually 180 my opinion tomorrow because, I don't know, maybe MrBeast is a scam artist. Who knows? But personally, as of right now, my thoughts rest in the idea that MrBeast did not deliberately scam people, but I do believe people did get scammed of their money. They did not get their money back. And whenever I'm talking about the small percentage that did get scammed of their money, I'm not talking about intentionally. They did not get intentionally and deliberately their money stolen from them. It's probably because they don't know how to contact anybody to go ahead and actually get their money refunded, or simply because they just don't care. But anyways, to go ahead and conclude my part in this video, do I believe that MrBeast is a massive scam artist that's shivering his hands together like he's some sort of mad deviant that's trying to steal people's money? No. Do I think that this app could have been made a whole lot better? Absolutely. The last finger on the app challenge lasted a lot longer, and a lot of people did not even get kicked out as much. Even as Creator Economics said, they even said that a couple hours into the first challenge, there was around 400 to 500,000 people still in the game.
Hey, let's do a mobile phone with a mobile app. Everyone puts their finger on their phone. We'll make it so people can't cheat, or we'll make it so bots can't win the game. And then, yeah, we deployed it out. We had 1.1 million downloads on the first version. I think I need to go back and look at the stats, but we were 4 hours into the game and we still had hundreds of thousands of players that were playing this game, and it lasted 72 hours. It was crazy.
So obviously, whenever they made this new app, there was obviously some technical difficulty somewhere along the line in the development. But yeah, after this whole situation, I was just extremely disappointed about this whole challenge. I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a whole 2 hours. You know what I can do in 2 hours, bro? I could have been watching like Harry Potter or something, bro. I don't have time to be watching watching, you know, Finger on the App challenge number 2. I got Harry Potter to watch. But anyways, now that I actually have that time on my hands to go ahead and watch Harry Potter, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now. So anyways, that's going to be it for my part. Thank you, Keid, for letting me on your channel. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed anything throughout my part, my channel will be on screen right now. Go ahead and subscribe to Crimptia. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, thank you, Keid, for letting me on your channel. I really appreciate it. Anyways, I'm gonna give it back to Keid.
Thanks, Crimptia. Very cool. Anyways, that's all I got for today. We're back to daily uploads from here on out. Sorry for missing a few days. This whole situation just jumbled a lot of stuff up for me. Once again, sub to Crimptia. Click on one of these thingies if you want to watch more. And yeah, bye.